And the main purpose of this charity is to help Morocco acquire or build what we believe is going to be the first neuro rehab facility in the whole country. We're talking about the country, it's small compared to the US, but still about the size of California, and about 40 million people, no access to neuro rehab. I'm a neuroscientist by background, but that's not the reason why I got into this project. I lost an older brother to a traumatic brain injury in Morocco in 2007, and that's what changed my life and put me in this path. So many years of work, including the help that we received from several members of this club and a lot of members from clubs all over Utah. Where finally, we finally did, started the operation in this facility, this small facility that our guest will describe to you very shortly. And thanks to the assistance and the help and the funds that we got from this club and others, you will see what tremendous progress has been accomplished. Before I introduce the main speakers who comes all the way from Morocco, I want to say a few words on the next short-term speaker, if I can call it that way, the Honorable General Burton, the head of the Utah National Guard. You probably don't know that Morocco is a sister state of the state of Utah, and there has been a collaboration at the military level and what I would call paramilitary level for a decade, if I'm correct. And General Burton took the helm after General Charbet retired, and he has been to Morocco, and we're really honored to have him here with us. And I would like to give him a few minutes just to say a few words about his experience and his future and past relationship with Al-Qaeda. General Burton.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a real honor to be with you and for me to bring a few of my associates from the Guard. As was mentioned by Dr. Sbia, I'm honored to be here primarily because we have a great relationship with the Kingdom. This relationship began back in about 2003, and we have interacted with them on a military level, but also on a civilian level. Many of you know Dr. Sunwal, and he's been in Morocco several times. We've interacted in everything from pandemic flu exercises to disaster response, humanitarian exercises. We find ways that we can assist each other. So we have Moroccans that come to the state of Utah several times a year, and we go there several times a year. I train, I'm an engineer, and have been all over the world building medical clinics, schools, roads, bridges. And I can tell you what I've learned is that there are kindred spirits and friends everywhere in this world. It's been said that the world's run by the people that show up, and Rotarians definitely show up. And so we're grateful to be with you today. And I'm honored to be with Dr. Knidiri, who is a man well distinguished in his own country and is well known and is making a huge difference. I've been to your project site. It is very much needed in this country. You can imagine a country of 40 million having no neurological facilities and how important and necessary this facility is. So anything that we can do to contribute and to aid and to help this wonderful country of Morocco, which, by the way, is a very important regional partner of the United States in a very difficult part of the world, Africa. And Morocco is one of the few countries that we depend on greatly as a nation. And we have many dear friends there, Dr. Knidiri being one of them. So thank you for hosting us to this fine meal, and to meet you again, many of you I know. And thank you for taking the time to listen to this wonderful presentation. A very, very worthy cause. Thank you.
Thank you, John Burton, and thank you for the staff who took the time to come and share this time with us. Very briefly, I wanted to say that the MER project, it's an ongoing project. It started last June. We are treating patients. It's a small number of patients, but we are already making a difference. There are two phases, like Dr. Knidiri will show you in his presentation. So Dr. Knidiri is the most important and the first, actually, the most important supporters we we found in Morocco. Marrakech started and is treating patients mostly because of the support that we have from him and his NGO. So briefly, Dr. Knidiri used to be the dean of the College of Science where I got my bachelor's degree, and then he basically built the University of Marrakech from the ground while he was serving as president for 13 years. Now it's one of the top universities in the whole country and in Africa. He wasn't done working on that project when the late King of Morocco called him to serve as Minister of Education. In a very difficult time in the Moroccan history, it's called the transition government. And then when that transition government was retired, he thought he was done with public service for good. But then the king called him again to serve as the president of this very large NGO that was founded by the king himself. So we are very pleased to have him talk to us a little bit about the relationship, the historical relationship between Morocco and the United States, and also discuss the most recent updates from their project. Professor Knidiri?
Good afternoon, all. I'm very pleased to be with you today. Just speaking about a small project which has been interesting, as it was said by Dr. Said. But I want before to speak about our relationship between Morocco and the United States. Maybe many of you don't know that Morocco was the first country recognized the independence of the United States on 1777. There is another day in the same year that you will see that Morocco to give the protection to the commercial navy, commercial boats, American, when they cross the Mediterranean Sea. It was very important. So, on 1787, 10 years later, the friendship treaty between the two countries was signed. You see just the first page of that agreement written in Arabic, in Moroccan letters, Arabic Moroccan letters. And I don't know, you have a picture. Can you don't see very good picture? Can somebody tell me who are in that picture? Okay. Yes, President Roosevelt and the President Russia. And they were in Casablanca for a meeting, very important meeting, to decide to have decision about the Second War of 1943. They made a meeting, a very special meeting with the king, Mohamed Knidiri, for having strategic decision about the war, the Second War. You know that Morocco and North Africa has played a very, very big role to reconquer the south of France. And now, if you want, we are speaking a little bit about the past. Now, the second 20 years will know many activities between our two countries. It was, as I told them, that the friendship, relationship between Morocco and the United States continue in all centuries, and now we just see that in the 21st century it will be stronger. I will show you. On 2004, the agreement of free exchange between Morocco and the United States is signed. On 2006, the agreement is implemented, but began to be applied. From 2006 to today, the agreement of free exchange has been implemented, and it seems to have brought our countries even closer. In 2012, the USA and Morocco began the new strategic dialogue. So I don't speak about military relations. The general has said that, but it's very important. Our relations are very important because Morocco has a good, very important strategic position, geographical position in the world, and especially in Africa. And let's now speak about a little bit about the project. Since during about 3 years, we made worked with Dr. Sbia, who is the co-president of the American Association of Charité, and my NGO, Grand Atlas in Marrakech. We tried to work together for creating a center which is called MAIR. In that MAIR is it is now, it is because it's completely now working, is the first center of neuro rehabilitation in Morocco. That's very, very important, and we are helped by many people, especially Rotary Club in Utah. I don't speak about the routes, and it's very important. It's very known. The budget of this phase, we have the phase 1. The budget of the phase 1, it's about 500,000, and we will build about 3,000 square feet on donated building space by some Moroccan. Small staff now, between 7 and 10. Patient capacity of 10 to 20 per day. And the status started on June 2014. The goals, maybe I will try to say it again, introduce the United States of America medical protocols, treat patients, build human resource capacity, establish faculty and student exchanges. The phase 2 will have a budget of about $5 million, and the superficie will be about 30,000 square feet. It will contain large medical staff, about 65, large patient capacity, about 300 per day. The statute is going now. So that let's go a little bit on the first years of that project. You will see here 2 gentlemen who are present today with us. Jerry Summerhays, past governor of Rotary, and John Pace, past president of Salt Lake Rotary Club. You will see them, they are very happy to have equipment and to be ready to send them to Morocco. And it arrived very quickly. Here you see in the phase 1, you see initial location. We were building a very sort of club for giving education to old adult women in Morocco, to give them professional education, to make them having a profession. And we decided at this time to give the floor, the first floor, to that project. And here we visited. You have a Rotary delegation came to Morocco, and they looked at the building. And I remember Jerry made a prayer that it will finish very quickly, and it's done. It's made, and now it's completely finished on January, last January, and you will see that here it's finished. The first project was finished, and you have the delegation, very big delegation with many people from Rotary and from the University of Utah. It was on January 2014. Your prayer was exhausted by God, and it's finished very quickly at time. The building was finished at time. And now only it's finished, but it was inaugurated by the king. It's so very important. Very important, you see that on the left, the king was cutting the ribbon, and in the right, I received him just in front of the building, and he was very happy. It's very important because for us, the king accepts to inaugurate something. It's very important. And after that, we have. So when we look at examined that space, we find it very small, too small. So we have an idea to take contact with the general director of the University Hospital Center to make partnership with him, and he's a nice man, and he told us, okay, I have a big place, and I don't know what to do with it. It's empty, so we can use it for that project. So immediately we signed a contract, an agreement to have this center, this place for the center. And here I want to show the blessed visit of the general, which is here, just a minute. We give him benediction. Benediction for that center, and after that, the center was completely finished, and because of the help of the Rotary Club, especially. Of course, Rotary Club have given us help, very important help, because it's the first help for us. It's $45,000 for especially for making training for our staff. So I want to indicate also the other clubs who are helping us for realizing this project. You have Salt Lake, of course, Marrakech, South Jordan, Ogden, Rovo Club, Park City Club, Park City Sunrise Club, and Hurricane Valley Club. Here, in the left, I will show that the staff, our staff, which was received, our staff, three trainers were received at Salt Lake Rotary Club. On the right, the mayor's staff was received at Neuro Works. I want to take this occasion to thank to Dr. Ghalia and his colleagues for their unconditional support. Here you see it was in June, the end of June 2014, we received Dr. Leninger from Utah and the neuro rehabilitation specialist from IHC, and they want to thank also this organization. Dr. Leninger, as a specialist, helped us to set up the equipment properly and treat our first patients. I show you some activities of our center. Here you have Anas, who are trainer here in Utah, who is treated and going to therapy at phase 1 with Anas, with the patient. The specialist patient is a professor of the university, who was Jairo job, I know him well, and he has hemiplegia, and now he's treated in our center. That's another case of patient with cerebellar dysfunction, and they're going therapy by phase 1 with Sana, which is a trainer, one of the trainers, will come next month to Utah for a stage. And now we'll see the future, the very close future. We'll have second Moroccan VTT team will come to Utah in October 2014, next month. And also we have second US VTT team will go to Morocco in early November 2014. Another VTT grant is needed, so we make some submission. Some submission of application was made on July 1st, 2014 for an amount of 85,000. Maximum number of participating club is needed. Salt Lake Rotary Club 24. We need your support, and we want to thank you very deeply. Here we have the land. Was visited by a delegation from Utah and also by the general. I tell you that it's last visit, a very good visit, because you encourage us for going ahead for realizing this project. And there, just I want to show you some design. That's the front view. The architect is from Utah. Till now, just for having an idea. And after we'll continue with another architect in Morocco, in that good relationship between the two countries. And here we have the floor plan. On the right, you have medical facilities. So for like the most important place of the center. We have also cafeteria, conference center, rooms for education, and also some building for housing patients, and sometimes their parents when they are children, when patients are children. In January 2014, Her Highness the Princess Lala Zinat of Morocco is a cousin of the king, and has an NGO of handicapped children, especially children of an handicap. He received the delegation, American delegation. You can see some of them, maybe you know some of them. You have Sandwell, of course. You have Sandwell was the Minister of Health in Utah. And you have also the past governor, Rotary governor, Dr. Summer Hayes, he is always present, and Mr. and Mrs. Matson. Here we were received by the Minister of Higher Education, and he confirmed us that his support to the project. In the left, you have a photo with Moroccan delegation and some people of the delegation, and in the right, you see the American delegation. So the support in the United States, of course, Utah Rotary, Utah National Guard, of course, and Sorensen Legacy Foundation, Globus Relief, NeuroWorks, the University of Utah. In Morocco, we have Ministry of Higher Education, Ministry of Health, Francis Lalazina of Morocco, University Hospital Center of Morocco, and other partners. So I want just to show you something, maybe people don't know that USA and Morocco are only one tectonic plate away from each other. Let's help each other. Thank you very much for your attention and for your support.
Thank you, Professor Knidiri, for that wonderful presentation. Before we take a question and answer session, can I call on the podium our President, Mohamed Knidiri? Professor Knidiri would like to present our President with a small gift from Morocco. Very, very typical Moroccan stuff.
I just want to give a gift very, very significant. It's very small, very modest, but very significant. It's something made by people, artisan in Morocco. It's made handmade, and we call it in France souma. You can put paper inside, your file inside, and you put what you want inside. But generally, precious file.
Hand wrap.
Just it's the logo of our association, NGO. This is our logo. Just for remember our association.
I'll start off with my first question for Professor Knidiri. He's a very young Rotarian in this club. I really have a personal question for him. If a member of this prestigious club wants to help financially, how can you do that? Well, so if they wanna make a financial contributions, members of this club want to make financial contributions to the project. How do you want them to contribute to the training, to the equipment?
Of course, we need for the phase 2, which will be very important. We'll have larger center, we'll have larger land, and independence of the project. We'll need, of course, everything. We'll need equipment, of course. We'll need funds, of course. We'll need also possibility to have trainers here. And we'll also need some people, some doctors of neuro rehabilitation come to us to form people there and to make, to give his knowledge to the others, Moroccan doctors and the Moroccan staff. So what's, and of course everything is important. Everything is important.
Floyd just whispered in my ears saying that anybody who is interested in this product wants to make a financial contribution, come and talk to John Pace. Any other question? Yes.
Does your center help patients with mental disabilities as well as physical disabilities? In other words, cognitive disabilities or both?
Right now, we are focusing on traumatic-induced neurological conditions, meaning spinal cord injuries, traumatic brain injuries, strokes. We're also dealing with some children who suffered, which is a condition that's very rampant in Morocco, unfortunately, because of lack of proper resuscitation right at the moment of birth. A lot of healthy babies end up with brain damage because they are partially asphyxiated. They're a victim of short-term hypoxia. So we're seeing a lot of those. In the long term, in phase 2, yes, we are going to tackle some of the mentally challenged cases as well. Basically, we want to help neurologically impeded patients gain more independence and lead a better life. That's the bottom line. Yes.
Is the state of Morocco available in its ability to support some of these programs that you're working on?
The question is the state of Morocco, meaning the local government and the central government, is supporting this initiative, this project. I will let Dr. Knidiri speak to that a little bit, but I would like to give you my answer right away. Yes, we have seen a tremendous positive pouring support toward this project, and like Dr. Knidiri showed you on his presentation, one of the top, very highly ranked officials came to us, like the princess. Her people actually heard about our project, and she wanted to talk to us to see how we can work with her. Because like Dr. Knidiri says, her NGO, which is a very large one, is collecting abandoned children in Morocco. And she has like 30 to 50 centers across Morocco. And that's all she does, keep them healthy, clean, and then give them a shelter. But she's struggling with how she can give them more independence. So she doesn't have access to the rehab, and she doesn't have access to special education. In Morocco, there is no special education. And so we start off with that great meeting, and there is a huge potential for collaboration with that. And obviously, the central government, the Minister of Higher Education's Jerry Summerhay is here, and Dr. Sonwell will tell you his reaction. He was very, very supportive. He was very excited to see an American initiative coming with these kind of innovative medical care in the country. Do you want to add something?
I think you have not seen everything. I just say that in Morocco we have what we call national initiative, which is a program for helping for that kind of activities. For example, at my center, I showed you, my center was helped by that initiative. We call it national initiative. It was financed by 80%, and 20% I have looked about it. Some people who have some donators, some ministry, for example, health ministry, helped for that, and other people, other partnership, and also the councils, the elected council of the city, for example, the mayor of the city, the elected council of the city, help for that also. So we can have help from there. If we have already something substantial, important, they can help. They don't help give money just like that. But when we are helped by other people, have some basis of money or fund, they will help.
One more question? Yes?
I'm impressed with the degree of cooperation that is happening. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the region, Morocco seems to be terribly agreeable with having American help and/or world's help. And I'm just wondering what the difference was, if you just theorize on how did we end up with that kind of relationship with Morocco as opposed to the darker sides of what's happening right now, as we just watched in Syria. And is that too broad? I'm not just asking a question as to how do we have such a good relationship with Morocco, and where did we go wrong, or how did it go wrong on the other side?
It's a very loaded question. I'm forced to give you my own opinion here. Growing up as a teenage, for some reason, I dreamed to have my higher education somewhere in the United States. I couldn't end up in pretty good school in Paris, in France, but just to tell you, that's the kind of vision that we have of the U.S. The U.S., as far as the populations or the government or political practices, whatever you name it, it's highly regarded in Morocco. And I think one of the philosophical explanations for that is that Moroccans, like Americans, they like their freedom. Morocco, another piece of history for you. Morocco, when the Ottoman Empire conquered all North Africa and Middle East, Morocco was the only country to stand up to them. We were made independent, even in front of that huge empire. So we really like our freedom. Communism conquered a lot of Africa, and they couldn't touch Morocco because of the mentality of these people. We just like the freedom, the free trade, and free commerce, and love for ownership and all kind of those things that basically characterize the American people. Historically, just to go back 2 centuries ago, I think the fact that Morocco was in control of the seas around the Mediterranean, and Morocco didn't see eye to eye with the British Empire and also with the French empires. It was just natural things to embrace this ambivalent and exciting. That's about what I have.
As always, Dr. Knidiri has autographed this book, Penguin and Pinecone, for our adopted school, and he's already written a nice note to them, and we thank you so very, very much. An honor for you. Thank you. 2 things before we're adjourned. Reminder of our next 2 meetings. Next Tuesday is not a regular noontime meeting in this building. Instead, we'll be having the dine around that evening. If you've not been contacted, if you signed up and you've not been contacted by a host by Friday, Pam, by Thursday or Friday, you call Pam and she'll make that happen. And if you'd like to go, please let her know today. I know as a host that I can take a few more hours. That would be great if we could do that. The following week, our club president Mike will be finishing up a couple of things that he thought were very important to say. It is an initial inauguration talk, and we can't wait to see that. And a former member, Andy Walcott, who was the vice president of the Fed Reserve of San Francisco, is going to come back and talk about retirement and life after the Fed Reserve. And that'll be quite interesting as well. With that, we thank you all for your attendance today, and we'll look forward to seeing you in 2 Tuesdays. We're adjourned.
Great meeting.